Alex had never seen a world like this. The sky was a strange shade of violet, with twin suns burning dimly on the horizon. Smoke and ash floated in the air, remnants of a battle he had not yet fully understood. Buildings, once tall and proud, now lay in ruin, twisted metal and shattered stone reaching toward the sky like desperate hands. Every step he took on the cracked pavement made a sharp echo. The air smelled of burning oil and something sweet, almost floral, but poisonous, he guessed. Then he saw her. She was standing alone in the middle of a courtyard, untouched by the destruction around her. Her skin shimmered like molten silver, her eyes a deep violet that glowed softly in the dim light. She was beautiful, unlike anyone he had ever seen. Her body was tall and lithe, moving with a grace that seemed both natural and otherworldly, but her expression was wary, full of tension and fear. "Stay back," she cried, her voice sharp and melodic, carrying easily over the ruined landscape. "Don't touch me. I'm poisonous." Alex froze. Every instinct screamed at him to stay away. Humans had long known that alien species could be dangerous, some even lethal to a single touch. But something in the way she trembled, the slight curve of her lips hiding the fear behind her words, made him hesitate. He lowered his hands, careful not to make sudden movements. "I'm not here to hurt you," he said softly, his voice calm but steady. Her eyes narrowed, studying him like a predator sizing up prey, or maybe a frightened animal trying to guess his intentions. "You humans think you can just walk anywhere, touch anything," she said, her words laced with anger and a touch of sorrow. "One touch, and you could die." Alex tilted his head, his boots crunching on the broken stones. "Maybe," he admitted, "but sometimes some things are worth the risk." The princess blinked, a small flicker of surprise passing through her features. Her arms remained raised defensively, her fingers curled as if to ward him off. The air around her seemed almost alive, tinged with energy he could feel in his bones, a subtle warning like electricity waiting to spark. Alex stepped closer, slowly, keeping his hands where she could see them. Every movement was deliberate. Every step was measured. "Why are you here?" she demanded. Her voice shook slightly, though she tried to hide it. "Why would a human come into a place like this? Don't you know your kind could die?" "I know," Alex said, keeping his voice low, gentle. "But I also know that someone shouldn't have to face this world alone." She froze. For a moment, she simply stared at him, eyes wide, unsure whether to trust him or strike him down. He could see the conflict in her gaze, the part of her that was trained to survive at all costs, and the part that longed for something she had denied herself for so long: safety, warmth, and perhaps connection. The ground between them seemed endless. Smoke curled lazily, drifting around their feet, and the ruins of the city loomed like silent witnesses. Alex didn't move closer. He didn't try to touch her, didn't try to show off bravery. He simply stayed, waiting, breathing slowly, letting her see that he meant no harm. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, her posture shifted slightly. Her arms dropped a little, just enough that Alex noticed. She didn't smile, not yet, but the edge of fear in her eyes softened, replaced by something more fragile: curiosity. I don't let anyone near me," she whispered, almost to herself, as if speaking aloud her rule of survival. "Maybe," Alex said gently, "but sometimes rules are meant to be broken when someone's life depends on it." The princess looked at him, and for a fleeting moment the world seemed still. Even the distant hum of the ruined city faded. Alex could feel the faint energy of her aura brushing against him, and instead of fear, he felt something else, an unspoken plea for trust, for courage, for a hand to hold in a universe that had shown her nothing but danger. And in that moment, Alex made a choice. He chose to stay. The sun had almost set, casting long shadows across the ruined city. Alex stayed close to the princess, though he kept a careful distance. Every step they took together was cautious. The streets were filled with dangers. Shattered walls could collapse. Hidden mines might still lie beneath the rubble, and the air itself seemed alive with the threat of alien toxins. The princess, whose name he still didn't know, moved with a strange elegance. Her every step was deliberate, almost as if she were testing the ground for danger. Yet for all her grace, there was tension in her shoulders and fear in her violet eyes. She glanced at Alex, suspicion clearly written across her glowing features. "Why do you follow me?" she asked suddenly, her voice firm but trembling slightly. "I told you, don't touch me. I'm poisonous. One wrong move, and you could die." Alex stopped a few feet away from her, lowering his hands to show he meant no harm. He looked directly into her glowing eyes, seeing the mixture of anger, fear, and loneliness there. "I follow because I want to help," he said gently. "I'm not afraid of you, I just don't want you to be alone." Her lips pressed together, her arms crossing over her chest. "Alone is better," she muttered. "Alone is safe. People die when they get close to me. I don't want anyone to risk their lives because of me." Alex felt a pang in his chest. Her words carried pain. Pain of isolation, of constant danger, of a life lived behind barriers. He took another cautious step forward. "You're not meant to live alone. Not like this. Not anyone. Even someone dangerous like you deserves trust, care, and protection." The princess froze, her head tilting slightly. She didn't answer. Instead, her eyes softened just a little, a flicker of something fragile and human peeking through her alien exterior. Alex noticed the tiny quiver in her fingers, the faint twitch of her shoulders, the way she swallowed as if the thought of connection was frightening yet tempting. "You don't understand," she said finally, her voice barely a whisper. "I'm not like you humans. Humans survive differently. They touch, they feel, they connect, but if anyone touches me, it's dangerous. I can't control it. One touch, and someone could die." Alex shook his head slowly. "Then let me be the exception," he said, his tone firm but soft. "I'll take the risk. Because sometimes, some risks are worth it, and I think knowing someone cares, even if it's dangerous, is worth it." For a moment, the city fell silent around them. The wind shifted, carrying the scent of burning stone and a faint, sweet perfume from the princess. Her body radiated an energy that prickled the skin, warning him to stay away, but Alex stood still. He didn't flinch. He didn't pull back. He simply stayed, showing her that fear could be met with courage. "You really don't understand," she whispered, more to herself than to him. "I'm not safe. I'm not human. I'm poison. You should leave. You should run." "I could leave," Alex admitted, "but I won't. Not now. Not while you're here. You deserve someone who won't run. Someone who will stand by you, even if it's dangerous. And I'm that person." The princess blinked, as if the idea of trust itself was new to her. She looked at him long and hard, searching for any sign that he might be lying. But all she saw was honesty, courage, and an unwavering decision. Her heart, which she had protected for so long, trembled under the weight of something she hadn't felt in centuries. Hope. Alex stepped slightly closer, careful to respect her space. He didn't touch her, didn't reach out, didn't rush her. He simply let her see he would stay. And in the faint silver glow of the city amidst ruin and smoke, the distance between them felt smaller than it had ever been. For the first time, the princess considered something dangerous: trust. Days passed slowly in the ruined city. Alex stayed close, always careful not to invade the princess's space, always alert for danger. They moved through collapsed streets, avoiding falling debris and scavengers that roamed the ruins. Despite her warnings, he followed her silently, offering help only when needed. He carried water, cleared rubble, and shielded her from stray energy blasts that occasionally tore through the air. Each time she scowled at him, muttering, "Don't touch me." I said, "Don't touch me." But Alex never did, not once. He knew the danger she posed. He respected her boundaries, and yet each glance she threw him, each flicker of hesitation in her glowing eyes, told him she was noticing him, noticing that he didn't run, noticing that he stayed, calm and steady, even when her world was filled with chaos. One evening, under the pale glow of the twin moons, they rested near a crumbling fountain. Alex sat a few feet away, letting her have space, but his gaze never left her. She crouched, her long silver hair falling over her shoulders, and stared at the cracked stones at her feet. For a long moment, neither spoke. Finally, she whispered, almost to herself, Why are you still here?" Her voice was soft, unsure, fragile. The kind of voice someone used only when they felt they might be safe. "Because you're worth it," Alex said quietly. His words were simple, but they carried more than courage. They carried care, respect, and a promise that he wouldn't leave. She looked up at him then, startled. Her glowing eyes widened, her lips parted slightly. "Worth it?" she repeated. You don't even know me." "You don't know how dangerous I am." "I know enough," Alex said. "I know that fear doesn't make you less. It just makes you human. And even if you're not human, even if you're poisonous, I don't care. I want to help. I want to stay." Her body tensed. She stood suddenly, moving a few steps back as if to remind him of the space he wasn't allowed to cross. You could die, she said sharply, almost shaking. One mistake. One touch. And it's over. I warned you. I told you. You don't understand. Alex stayed still, his voice calm, steady. I understand more than you think, he said softly. I understand that sometimes, even if someone is dangerous, they deserve trust. They deserve care, and you deserve someone who won't give up on you. Her hands trembled at her sides. For the first time, she hesitated. Her instincts told her to run, to strike, to keep him at a safe distance. But another part, one buried deep beneath years of isolation and fear, wanted to believe him, wanted to feel what she had denied herself for so long. Warmth, connection, safety. The wind shifted, carrying the scent of flowers from a garden long dead, and the ruins seemed to pause. The city's silence was heavy but calm. Alex didn't move closer, didn't make sudden gestures. He simply waited, giving her time to process, to decide. Her glowing eyes flickered between fear and curiosity. She opened her mouth, started to speak, then closed it again. Her shoulders sagged slightly, as if the weight of her loneliness pressed down on her. I don't let anyone near me, she admitted, her voice barely audible. I can't, I'm dangerous. Then let me be the first, Alex said gently. Not to touch you, not to cross your boundaries, but to stand with you. To be someone you can trust even in this chaos. I'll take the risk if it means you don't have to face it alone. For a long moment, the princess simply stared at him. Then she slowly nodded. A tiny, cautious gesture, almost imperceptible. It was not trust yet, but it was a start. A crack in the wall she had built around herself. Alex smiled softly, knowing that the hardest step had been taken. She had hesitated, but she hadn't pushed him away completely. And in a city filled with danger, fire, and ruin, that was the first sign of hope. For the first time, she considered the impossible, that someone could stay by her side, even when her body was dangerous, even when her presence could kill. And that thought frightened her and filled her with a strange warmth she had never known. The next morning, the ruined city felt alive with danger. Smoke still curled from broken buildings, and the air was heavy with the metallic tang of energy weapons. Alex and the princess moved cautiously, staying close to shadows, avoiding open streets. But no matter how careful they were, danger found them. Suddenly, the sky darkened with the hum of alien ships. Bright beams of light sliced through the air, striking buildings and scattering debris. The princess froze, her violet eyes widening with fear. Her body began to glow faintly, a soft silver aura radiating around her as if warning the world of her poisonous power. Stay back, she cried, her voice trembling with panic. I can't control it if they get too close. Alex's heart pounded. He had trained for danger, but he had never faced anything like this. The enemy soldiers, machines or aliens he didn't know, were precise, fast, and lethal, and yet he didn't move away. He kept his gaze on the princess, his mind focused on keeping her safe. Move with me, he shouted, grabbing her arm gently but firmly. She pulled back instinctively, fear radiating from her every move. I said, don't touch me. She started, but Alex interrupted softly. I won't let anything happen to you, he said, steadying her. We'll get through this together. Trust me. Her aura flared stronger, a warning and a shield. The beams of light struck closer, sending splinters of stone and metal flying. Alex used his body to shield her, crouching low, pushing her behind a broken wall. Sparks danced across the ground, and her glowing energy tingled in the air, making his skin prickle. He could feel the danger she carried in her very being, but he didn't falter. One of the enemy blasts hit a nearby pillar, sending it crashing toward the princess. In a split second, Alex lunged forward, throwing himself in front of her. Pain seared his arm, but he gripped her tightly, holding her close to protect her from falling debris. She gasped, shocked by his recklessness. You could die, she cried. I told you I'm dangerous. I'd rather die than leave you alone, Alex said, teeth gritted, his eyes locked on hers. We survived together, or not at all. The ground shook as more beams hit the city, but Alex kept his shield strong, moving her to a safer corner behind a collapsed wall. She clutched his arm, her fingers trembling against his, and for the first time she allowed herself to lean on him. Not fully, not completely, but enough that he felt her trust, fragile as it was. They're everywhere, she whispered, her voice shaking. I can't fight them all, you don't have to. Alex said calmly. We'll make it. Together, you're not alone. For a brief moment, the world seemed to slow. The enemy beams flashed past them. The debris rained down, but their shared presence became a small island of safety. The princess's glowing aura dimmed slightly as she realized he truly would not leave her. Then a massive explosion tore through a nearby building. Dust and rubble filled the air, and the princess stumbled. Alex caught her instantly, pulling her close, their bodies pressed together. His heart raced, but he felt a strange warmth in the contact, despite the danger of her poisonous energy. I can't, she muttered almost to herself. I'll hurt you. You won't, Alex said firmly. I trust you. I trust that you're not trying to hurt me. For the first time, the princess allowed herself to relax even slightly. Not completely, but enough to know that she could survive this because he would survive with her. And in that chaotic, burning city, that fragile moment of trust was more powerful than any weapon. Alex looked into her glowing eyes and whispered, We'll get through this. I promise. She nodded, her fear still there but tempered by something new. Hope. The ruined city was quiet now, but only for a brief moment. The enemy had withdrawn, leaving behind smoldering buildings, shattered streets, and a lingering tension that made the air feel thick and heavy. Alex and the princess stood among the ruins, their breaths coming in sharp, uneven gasps. Dust clung to their skin and clothes, but neither seemed to care. The princess's glowing aura pulsed faintly, a reminder of the danger she carried within her own body. She took a hesitant step back from Alex, as if the very thought of being near him could be lethal. I can't, she whispered, her violet eyes wide and trembling. I told you, don't touch me. I'm poisonous. I could hurt you. Or worse. Alex looked at her steadily, his chest rising and falling with calm determination. I know, he said softly. I know the risk. But some things are worth it. Her eyes flickered, a mix of fear, confusion, and something deeper she did not want to name. She wanted to pull away, to retreat into the solitude she had known all her life. But every time she looked at him, she felt something unfamiliar, a strange burning warmth that made her heart pound despite the danger. You don't understand, she said, almost trembling. I've never let anyone close. I've never trusted anyone. One touch, one wrong moment, and it could kill you. Alex stepped closer, but carefully, keeping a safe distance until she allowed him near. Then let me take that risk, he said simply. I'm human. I take risks every day. I've fought battles that could have killed me, but none of that matters. Right now, what matters is you, and I won't leave you alone. For the first time, the princess felt something shift inside her. She had spent centuries, or at least it felt like centuries, hiding, guarding herself, keeping others away. Her poisonous nature had been a shield, a barrier between her and the world, and now here was someone standing before her, looking into her eyes without fear, without hesitation, without judgment. I can't, she whispered again, but her voice was softer this time, almost unsure. Alex took a careful step closer. Then I'll be careful, he said. I won't force you. I won't hurt you. But I will be here. I will stay. Because some things, like trust, like care, like connection, are worth more than fear. The princess swallowed hard, feeling her body tremble, not from poison, not from energy, but from emotions she had never allowed herself to feel. Fear and longing warred inside her, and for a moment she felt paralyzed. But then she felt his steady presence, his calm patience, and she realized something. She wasn't alone. Not anymore. Slowly, cautiously, she allowed herself to step closer to him. The air seemed to hum around them, thick with tension and unspoken words. Alex did not move forward to touch her. He simply stood there, patient, letting her make the choice. Finally, her trembling hands reached out, hovering near his chest, and she froze. The danger of her poisonous nature pulsed faintly, a soft warning, but Alex did not pull away. He smiled gently, giving her courage she hadn't felt in ages. I want to trust you, she whispered, tears glistening in her glowing eyes. And I'll earn it, Alex said. I'll earn it every day if I have to. You don't have to face the world alone, not with me. For the first time, she allowed herself to lean forward, almost touching him, almost letting go of centuries of fear. And in that silent, ruined city amid dust and shadow, the human and the alien princess stood together, closer than they had ever been to anyone. feeling a fragile but powerful bond that neither time nor danger could break. Alex's eyes softened as he looked at her, and she felt a strange, warm hope blooming inside her heart. Perhaps some risks were worth taking. Perhaps she could finally let someone in. And for the first time, the world around them seemed just a little less lonely. The night settled over the ruined city, soft and quiet, but heavy with unspoken emotions. The twin moons reflected off shattered buildings, casting silvery light that made the princess's glowing skin shimmer even more. Alex and the princess sat together near a collapsed wall, the cool stone beneath them, both exhausted from the day's chaos but unwilling to part ways. For the first time, she allowed herself to breathe without fear. Not fully, not yet, but enough to feel the gentle pull of something she had denied herself for so long. She glanced at him, her violet eyes reflecting moonlight and uncertainty, and whispered, I don't know why I'm letting you stay. You could leave any time. You don't have to be here." Alex shook his head, his expression soft but determined. "I'm not leaving. I won't leave. Not now, not ever. You're not meant to be alone in this world, no matter what anyone tells you, or even what you tell yourself." She looked away, embarrassed and unsure. Her glowing aura pulsed faintly, a reminder of her dangerous nature. I'm not safe," she murmured. "You could get hurt." "I'm poisonous, Alex. I warned you." "I told you." "I know," he said calmly, placing his hand carefully on the stone near hers, not touching her directly. "But some things are worth the risk. Some people are worth the risk, and you're worth every risk." Her heart skipped a beat at his words. She wanted to pull back, to hide, to protect him from herself. But the warmth in his voice, the steadiness in his eyes drew her closer. Slowly, she leaned just a fraction toward him, as if testing the waters of trust. Alex didn't move, didn't make a sound. He simply let her take the first step. The silence stretched, heavy but comforting. The city around them, destroyed and dark, faded into the background. For the first time in what felt like forever, she allowed herself to feel something other than fear, something fragile and new. Hope. You really mean it?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "That you'll stay even if I hurt you?" Alex smiled softly. "Yes," he said. "Even then, I'm not afraid. I'm human, yes, but humans have something your kind sometimes forgets. We fight for each other, even when it's dangerous. Especially when it's dangerous." Her glowing eyes widened slightly, and a small, uncertain smile tugged at the corner of her lips. She wanted to believe him. She wanted to feel safe, not just in body, but in heart. For centuries, she had trusted no one. And now, sitting here with him, she felt the impossible. That maybe, just maybe, she could trust again. "Alex," she said softly, her hand trembling, hovering near his shoulder. I don't know if I can ever let anyone really get close. But you're different." Alex reached out slowly, careful, placing a hand near hers without touching. "That's all I need," he said gently. "Just a little. One step at a time. I'll wait. I'll be patient. I'll earn your trust." Tears welled in her eyes, and she looked away, embarrassed by her own vulnerability. I've never felt like this before," she whispered. "I've never had anyone who would stay, who would care. And I will," Alex said firmly, his gaze unwavering. "Every day, through everything. You're not alone anymore." The princess finally leaned slightly into him, just enough that their shoulders almost touched. Her aura shimmered faintly, not with warning, but with a soft glow that mirrored the warmth spreading in her heart. She felt a strange comfort, a fragile sense of safety that had been missing her entire life. I think I like this," she admitted quietly. I like you being here." "I'm glad," Alex replied softly. "Because I'm not leaving, not now, not ever." For the first time in a city full of ruin and chaos, the alien princess allowed herself to feel connected, to feel hope, trust, and the simple, powerful warmth of human care. And as the twin moons glimmered above them, both of them realized that the bond forming between them was stronger than fear, stronger than danger, stronger than any poison she carried within her. In that quiet, shattered city, something beautiful was beginning, a connection that neither time nor battle could destroy. The first light of dawn stretched across the ruined city, painting the shattered buildings in soft gold and silver. Smoke still lingered in the streets, but the chaos of the previous night had faded. The enemy was gone. leaving only silence, broken walls, and the quiet hum of survival. Alex stood near the princess, his body aching from the fights, but his eyes never left her. She moved with cautious grace, but there was a softness to her posture now, a subtle ease that hadn't existed before. She glanced at him, violet eyes glowing faintly in the morning light. "You stayed," she whispered, voice trembling. "You didn't leave even when it was dangerous." "Even when I told you to, I promised," Alex said simply. His smile was warm, gentle, steady. "I told you I'd stay, and I meant it." The princess looked away, brushing a hand over her shimmering silver hair. Her aura pulsed softly. No longer a warning, but a quiet, gentle glow. I don't know how to thank you," she admitted. "I've never had anyone stay for me like this." "You don't have to thank me," Alex said. "Just don't shut me out. That's enough." She hesitated, memories of centuries spent alone and dangerous flashing through her mind. But when she looked at him again, she saw nothing but sincerity, patience, and care. Slowly, she took a step closer, then another, and then finally, she did something she had never allowed herself to do. She reached out. Alex felt the faint brush of her hand against his arm. Her glow pulsed softly, almost shyly. I'm still dangerous," she said. "You could get hurt. I could poison you." "I know," he said, his voice calm, steady, filled with certainty. "But some risks are worth it." "You're worth it. And I trust you." Her hand lingered near his, trembling slightly, and then she leaned forward. In a bold, quiet act, she allowed herself to rest against him just a little. Alex held her gently, careful not to push, careful not to scare her. And for the first time, she felt safe in another's presence. I don't think I've ever felt this before," she admitted softly. "Being near someone. Without fear. Without walls, just warmth." "That's what humans do," Alex said quietly, smiling. "We care even when it's dangerous. We take risks for each other, because some things are worth more than safety. You're one of those things." Her lips quivered and tears glistened in her glowing eyes. She had spent centuries isolating herself, surviving alone, trusting no one. And now here was a human who had not only stayed but risked everything for her. Risked himself simply to be near her, simply to show that she wasn't alone. For the first time, she allowed herself to feel hope. Not just the fragile hope of survival, but the powerful, unstoppable hope of connection. She had believed her poison would always keep her isolated, but Alex had proven her wrong. Love, trust, courage. They were stronger than fear, stronger than distance, stronger than her dangerous nature. "I think I like you," she whispered, resting her head lightly against his shoulder. I think I like being near you." "And I like you," Alex replied softly. "More than I can say. And I'll stay, no matter what. You're not alone anymore." The ruined city around them was silent, but it no longer felt empty. Dust and rubble glimmered in the dawn, light reflecting from broken glass and shattered stone. The twin moons faded as the sun rose fully, bathing the city in warmth. And in that quiet, fragile morning, the human and the alien princess stood together, two beings from entirely different worlds, connected by courage, trust, and the simple, undeniable power of care. For the first time, she smiled fully, unguarded, her glow soft and gentle. Maybe humans aren't so foolish after all," she said with a small laugh. Alex chuckled softly. Sometimes being foolish is the bravest thing we can do. And as the sun rose higher, warming the ruins, they both knew one thing clearly. They had survived the darkness together, and whatever the universe threw at them next, they would face it side by side, because sometimes a human hug, a simple act of courage, and a heart willing to trust could change everything. The princess's poisonous aura no longer felt like a threat. Instead, it was a quiet reminder that even the most dangerous beings could find safety, love, and hope. And in the heart of the ruined city, that was more powerful than any weapon, any battle, any enemy. They had found each other, and that was enough.